Hello, beautiful boss babes. Are you ready to chase life with Kelly? Well, I'm your host, Kelly Chase, and I'm so excited you're here. We are going to talk about all things love, dating, relationships, money mindset. We're going to dive deep into self-love, worthiness. I am going to bring on some incredibly empowering guests. We're going to have fun, we're going to laugh, and perhaps we're even going to shed some tears together. I am here to empower you, inspire you, and motivate you to create the life you crave. I am so excited for today's episode. Let's dive in. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the show. Okay, this episode is going to be super cool because I have Heather Hopkins, who is an entrepreneur. She is founding a dating app, which I think that we all could use. And if you're already married, I'm sorry, but pass this along to one of your single friends. But yeah, so I want to welcome you to the show, Heather. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Kelly.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's first dive into the fact we met at a our like mutual friend, like Stephen Lovegrove. He is America's favorite life coach. He throws a party, just started it like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It's called The Ball, the first Noel ball. I went to it a couple of years ago and then met Heather literally standing in line probably for a tequila shot or something.
That's exactly right.
She was just like, you have just such a cute face and you were just like a ball of energy and such a like beautiful light about her. And so anyways, we just connected and then connected offline into a social media like the next week, I guess. And yeah, I've just kind of been like following her journey a little bit and really impressive and inspired. So like I said, she's an entrepreneur and I know being one myself that is no easy feat. I know that we go through a lot of ups and downs and hurdles and challenges and all the things, but at the end of the day, it's very rewarding. So I also want to talk a little bit about that. And then obviously ask you all kinds of questions about dating and the dating app itself. So yeah, let's dive into how you got started in entrepreneurship. Like how did you have another career outside of?
I did. Yeah. So I always knew that I would start a company. I just never knew what it would be, or I don't know. I just was like, oh, I want to start a company, but I just didn't know. And so I actually started at about 11 years old. I started in TV and film, acting. So I originally started in local theater and then I moved into TV and film. And this was, in the age where social media was just starting to become a thing. And I actually lost a really, really big role to not having enough followers. And so I was like, oh, this is a new part of the business that I didn't have in the beginning when I started when I was young. I was still young when this happened, but yes, my agent was like, get on social media. And I'm like, okay. And this is in the era of like YouTubers. And so I had attempted the YouTube thing and I was like, nah, I don't want to carry around a camera my whole life. Like I like to be present with people. And that was really important to me. So then actually, you know what I did? I started one of the first dating podcasts, really early days, 2017. So like people didn't even really know that the podcast app was already on their phone. And I actually brought on tons of Bachelor people, all different reality shows. And I would talk to the villains. I get to like the real, like, I'm like, here's your time to be unedited. Like, I'm not looking to paint you in any sort of way. Like, tell me what's actually happening.
Love it.
So I had this whole show just about dating and relationships. And I was newly living in LA. I moved out here originally for acting and sort of grew a following in talking about dating with reality people. Yeah. And then part of that was people listening to my own dating app stories. I was on the apps and I'm using the apps and I'd be messaging with a guy and he'd seem so great. And I'd be like, oh my God, you guys, like this guy's so witty. We're just bantering, we're texting back and forth. He seems so great. And then I get on the date and within the first 5 minutes, I'd be like, oh no, this is so bad. And so then I made a rule on my show that you had to FaceTime before you agreed to go on any dates. And so then I originally built my first dating app, which was all about that. And then COVID happened. And so that's actually how it all started. Obviously that's a Spark Notes version. Right. You don't just like, oh, I have this idea. Let me just snap and here's an app.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot in between, but that is how it happened. It went from creator to podcast to entrepreneur.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Are you still doing the podcast or what?
I want to go back to, I would like to go back eventually. It was such a special, fun thing. But yeah, it's just so much with everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's so fun. Are you familiar with Olivia Caridi? She was on Bachelor.
Yes.
Yeah. So she was painted a villain on Bachelor. And so now I'm like having a brain Big Mouth or something like that is the name of her podcast, mouthing off or something like that. But yeah, like I remember me and Jessica Batten from Love is Blind, like we were both on her show because we were like, I mean, Jessica was more of the villain of the show, not my friend. Jessica was a great person, y'all. Her character was the villain. It was made into the villain, and so was mine, kind of. But it was like, that sounded like similar. I love the fact that you got to know the real person, though.
Yeah, that's it's so important. And I also was just like, I do the episodes about different topics, like, some guys were known to always go for the crazy girls. And I'm like, I want to know, tell me more. Like, what's the deal with that? What is it about crazy girls that you like so much? Like, what is it? And so and I do like crazy pranks on people. I bring on my ex that I hadn't talked to in years onto the show. He was on a show and I would film our first sit down, seeing each other. Like I would just do crazy stuff where it was just like different, and I just kind of fell into like making the show about dating.
I love that.
It turned into building my business. So
yeah, I absolutely love that. That's so funny you said that, because I had a conversation with a guy that I dated, have some type of relationship with at one time, and I was like, hey, do you want to be on my show? To I don't know, my idea of having him on was to show people through, although we aren't destined to be together, and although we can't be together kind of thing, but we can still be friends, and we can still
That's exactly what we did. We were like, exes don't have to be so bad. Like,
right.
Like we're good.
Yeah. So I love that. I love that you shared that too. Okay. Yeah, that's so cool. That's so crazy though, what you were saying about how you didn't get selected for a role because you didn't have a larger
yeah. Well, when I started, it was, that just wasn't a thing. Like there wasn't really social media. And then, I was working and stuff and doing different shows. And then all of a sudden it was like, it's everything. And then the producers were like, why would we pick a person you may as well pick someone with followers, right? And so that's what was happening. I started to lose out on roles because of that. And then I was just like, damn. And so, but I believe in, I think some people are like, there's the side where you're just like, I'm not gonna, innovate. But I look at it as, okay, there is this thing that's becoming important. How can I use it in a beautiful way? And I think you can either become obsessed with it and getting followers, or you can be like, wow, this is a space that I would have never had that connects me to so many more people than I could have ever connected to just walking around in life.
That's so true.
So I just kind of made it my own and just figured out my way that would still YouTube. I didn't connect with that, but I found my podcast, which I did connect with and I love doing. And so, yeah.
That's so cool. Do you find, okay, so now that you have been in this space of with the podcast and now doing the app, obviously you've been researching a lot, I would imagine. What have been maybe some of the biggest lessons or takeaways that you've learned maybe about love, dating, and relationships?
There's so many things. I don't know. There's so many. I've been both a creator in the space and a creator of technology in the space. So those are two very different but similar things.
Yeah.
Listen, when I first built the app that was all around video, which it is no longer anymore, I was just trying to basically make a way to vet dates better. But what I didn't realize in this is actually women are it's unsafe out there for us. And that's really the root of what's going on. It's, yes, of course, we want to make it safe and video chat our matches and make sure that they're not catfishing us, make sure they're but the very root of it is that there is a lot of guys that speak to us inappropriately on apps. And there's a lot of messed up guys on apps whether they're married or whatever, so many problems. And we're just we want a safe space.
Yeah.
And that was really the biggest thing that I learned is, that women, we need the safe space that has good guys in it. And so that's sort of what Hulah is now, which it morphed into, which originally I thought, oh, video chat will solve the problems. I was like, wait, no. The root is that women feel unsafe.
Yeah.
We need a safe space with better guys because all the guys suck everywhere else.
Right.
So that's what we solved. And that's what has just come out.
That's so cool. So I don't know if you can tell us, but can you tell us how you did create that like safe space?
Yeah.
How are you making it feel safer for women?
Yeah. So, obviously I mentioned that originally I built this app all about video dating. I was like, that's the solution. And then I found really the root problem was something different. Well, similar, but the actual root was that it was unsafe. And so, Hulah now is a space where you date better guys endorsed by other women.
Oh, okay. So you have like a recommendation or like a referral.
So yeah, let me explain. So basically the whole community is female powered. And so any female can be a ringleader, and ringleaders add in single guys they know, good single guys. And we actually have a gentleman algorithm that the guys get points according to being good guys with good intentions, treating people with respect. And for bringing in these good guys, you actually, you have a total amount of points that you can actually turn to money. So you turn reward. Yeah. So
Cool.
And then, as a single girl going through the guys, every single guy that you see has been brought in by a woman, and you can see the woman that brought them in. You can even message her and be like, Kelly, what's the deal with Ryan? And you can be like, you have your ringleader mailbox, and you can be like, he's the best. And so we're actually creating female friendships too while we're at it.
Cool. That is so neat.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like when is this launching? Because I need
it's so soon. It's so soon. Yeah. It's hopefully by the time that this podcast is out, it's actually out. We're submitting to the App Store today. So it's kind of a big day. But
that's so amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I freaking love that. That is so cool. So, okay, so I have a question. As far as, let's say there's a guy who, it just happens to be a bad date. Like,
yeah, that's fine.
Maybe he's not like a jerk or anything, but maybe he's just like off that day or something, right? Yeah. So he's not maybe expressing as much effort as he would have. And so the girl's like, it just was like a dud, So his points go down a little bit, maybe. But like
no, so it's all based off of good intention and respect. So these are the two. Listen, like if you're in person and if you go on, you talk and you end up going on a date in person, and he's like really bad or something, you could message his ringleader and be like, hey, what's the deal? But no, we're not like a bird watching your date. We don't see that part, but we do care about how you speak to people online. Right. So that's a big piece is, most women we get on other dating apps, we actually get messages that are really inappropriate, and those won't fly anymore on Hulah. Just won't.
Okay. Yeah. So if a guy, so you told me about the like reward system for the girl, but if a guy like, how many negative points or however that's going to go, or lower ratings does that person have? Like, when they hit a certain amount, like, do they get exiled from the app? Like, do you guys like be like, okay, you can't be on anymore?
So essentially the only people that can see the points is the guy and the guy's ringleader. So we're not here to like make people insecure, and also it's not based off looks. It's there's currently 40 different data points that drives it, and it's not like, oh, is he hot or not? That's not. But to answer your question, let's say that a guy is not like, you're his ringleader and he's not doing so hot. You can always X him out of your team, and he just has to find another woman to vouch for him. So you can get him off, but no, he's not. There's no like negative points. Like you're not gonna. It's you are getting negative points. Like something's really, really wrong. I don't know. It's really hard. I don't even know how you could get negative points. It's you can lose points, but there's really easy ways to that our algorithm picks up on to gain points that show you have good intentions.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, I love this. I know I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm like, there could be
I love it.
This ringleader who like, just loves the crap out of her friend, but she knows that he's not so great with women in a romantic way, but he's like the best friend, right? Like we have those.
You can write little bios on each of your guys. So like, actually, this is what I had originally tested, because I have a friend and like notoriously he did really bad on other dating apps. And so originally when I came out with the video dating app, I had built this way to like directly link to people's profiles. So I was like, hey, can I use your link as like a little growth thing that I want to try out? So I actually ended up discovering there's huge communities of women already, where you post good single guys, you know. And so I have posted my friend who notoriously does really bad other places, because he's 5'4", but he's the best guy. He's really the best guy. And so I posted on this page and I was like, hey, and then here's the link, direct link to his profile. I wrote a little blurb about him. I was like, short king alert. He's the best though. He's going to make some girls so happy. He's, CEO of this company. He's blah, blah, blah. Wow. And all these women, I didn't know any of them, but he was like, what did you do, Heather? He is getting blown up on Hulah. And he's like, oh my gosh, what did you put out? And I'm like, whoa. So I think for women, this is special, unique to us that men don't have, is we have this, if another woman says that a guy is safe and good, it really changes things for us, because we know what it is like to be a woman, and guys don't, like, we're walking the street, we have to always be alert and be thinking in a lot different ways than a guy does. And so having this community that's all female powered is just really, really special. And it also brings these guys that, we all kind of have those like good guys in our pockets that maybe we didn't date for whatever reason. But we all have them. And so let's help each other meet them.
I love that.
And also to one thing that's also, if you're listening to this and you're like, I'm in a relationship, well, guess what? You can also still be a ringleader, and we lock the dating mode. So you can still add in good single guys. You can still play matchmaker with your single friends. And you'll still get a ringleader mailbox. So girls might message you and say, what's the deal with, and you can always reply, and it's just fun.
I love that. They're like a wing woman.
Exactly. And we also have, so you can share your fleet link. So like, I have a ton of guys that are like super great husband material guys on my fleet. So if I'm out to lunch with a girlfriend and a girlfriend's like, I'm so single, blah, 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 I just share my fleet link and she can see all my guys that she didn't have to be on the app. She can just see them all. And then when she goes to like one of them, then she'll have to make an account to send a like. But like, you can see, you have a fleet link. So you can always share that with your single girlfriends.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this to come out. I'm bored. I mean, granted,
you're like, do you already know what guys you're going to add?
Oh gosh, maybe there's a couple. Yeah. I mean, I have like some really good guy friends that
me and my friends are already like, we have like guys that I'm like, I call them. I know they're going to rake in the points. I'm like, no, you're going to kill it.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool. I just like, oh my God, I'm going to like probably start making a list like when I get off this call tonight.
Yeah, we invented a new side hustle. I'm like, why not? Like, matchmakers get paid to matchmake. Why can't everyday people get paid? We all have people that we could intro to.
Totally. Oh my God. No, but I mean, just like using it for myself, not even like, I'm not even thinking about the side income. I'm like, I mean, that's a great perk, but I'm like, I feel like I'm like one of those like seasonal dating app people. Plus, I don't have notifications turned on my phone. So with that being said, like if I am on the app and someone messages me, I have to go into the app to like look at the message, right? Because I don't get the notification. And there are times I get busy, and then I'm probably the girl that's ghosting half the guys, but it's not intentional. I just literally, I don't get the notification. I forget that I was even talking to someone, and I'm like, And granted, that probably speaks to the fact that I haven't had too much of an engaging conversation going on first.
Right.
Otherwise, I would probably not forget that I was talking to someone. Right. But, I've been entertaining Hinge. That's been kind of like my go-to dating app over the last couple of years. But again, it'll be like, I don't know, like a month. And then like for 4 months, I'm not even on it. And I'm like preoccupied with other things.
I like to say, some people are like really freaked out about dating apps. And I'm like, hey, it's a supplement. Like obviously meeting someone in real life, so ideal, right? The fairy tale, you just bumped into
that's my one. Right?
But listen, like I like to say a lot of the micro moments that we used to have, like, you're waiting in line for a coffee and you just like, everyone's on their phone now. You don't have those micro moments as much anymore. So use the apps as a supplement. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Use obviously ones that are safe and good. But definitely use it as a supplement. Times are different now. And, you know, like if you're afraid of like, just try it out. It's not scary.
Well, I love this.
Especially a space like Hulah, where like every girl, the only way a guy's getting in is when they're been marked safe by another girl. So,
right. Yeah.
So.
I love that. Like, I am so impressed and just inspired. That is so cool. I'm like, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
So what are some things, I mean, just generally dating wise, and, or, you know, on your app, like, yes. Okay. So you have the referrals and that kind of thing, but you know, when you are just looking at someone's profile, what are some things that you're looking for maybe that on any dating app, I guess, but like, what are things that are looking for that maybe could be like a red flag or a green flag?
Mm-hmm. So I always tell people, number one, you always want to show the colors of your life. So now, if your whole profile is you at the gym, a selfie of you in the mirror, that's not good. Is that a color of your life? No, you're showing one note. You know, think of it like, oh, you know, I love my dog. That's a color of me. I love to be outdoors and active. So that's a color, you know, show different sides of you. And that not only provides conversation, but it also just, that's the most authentic you, right? I think a lot of people make the mistake of like putting on a lot of filters, like not being their authentic selves. And I'm like, listen, if you're marrying to like find someone, or if you're dating to find someone to marry, they're going to see it all anyway. So let your freak flag fly, like show it all.
Right.
Maybe not all, but like show the colors. Don't show it all. Not literally all, but like show the colors of your life. I mean, and if someone's turned off by the fact that like you love your piglet Frank, like they're not the guy anyway. Like, you know, whatever, if you like whatever it is, like don't be afraid to niche yourself, if that makes sense. So that's like I think a mistake that a lot of people make is they choose just like vanilla pictures. And I'm like, that's not even you. Like you're so this and you like this, and show those things. That's what it's going to come out anyway. So may as well cut through the BS and like get to the guys who like that speaks to them right away.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're having conversation with a guy in a dating app, what do you, I mean, okay, so like a guy friend of mine, he used to use the dating apps before he was in a relationship. And he was like, you know, I'm not the type of guy who's like maybe a couple of exchanges of things, but I want to get them out of the dating app as fast as possible and like meet them in real life. You know, he's like, because otherwise I feel like the conversation can get really stale and stagnant. And then it's like, do I take her on a date? Like it's, you know, it's just like banter back and forth. So do you have like, I don't know, maybe like expert advice on that to be like, okay, when is a good time to take it out of the app without freaking a girl out?
For sure. So, you know, one thing, obviously, we really are focused on creating this really safe and awesome space for women with all the better guys. And so what we have done is after you match, if you know, you can message, do your banter, but there's a little clock at the top, and within 48 hours, you have to schedule a 5-minute video chat or the match expires. So you could schedule it for next week or whenever works for you, but there's always that step that like has kind of a next step versus that kind of puts you, if you want to go face to face and like move it to a date, you already have like made sure there's a little vibe there or something. So it really helps people out and so that they don't end up like either just going to the abyss of never,
right? Yeah, exactly.
You know, the abyss, or things moving too fast and the girl being like, wait, I'm not ready to like just go to drinks tomorrow. Like that's like a lot, you know. It really is that nice buffer where you just like quick vibe check, like make sure they're legit, make sure it's all good before we make that step. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah,
and it's all done through the app, so there's no number shared or anything. It just kind of gives you that next step.
Right. What are some good like conversation starters to have if you're as the woman initiating the conversation, to be able to like feel the energy and actually like really feel the guy's personality?
Yeah. One thing we do on Hulah is we actually have, so instead of like bios where you fill out like, I am looking for, like, I always thought those were so awkward. I'm like, that's so like, oh, here's why to date me, a little bio on what, like, I'm like, that's so awkward. So we actually started a thing called Ask Me About. So you actually fill out just like little topics to ask you about. So you're going to be asking about my podcast, ask me about this. And so there's already those, and when you're on the video call, you can actually pull up the cheat sheet if you want. And so they don't see that you're pulling it up, and you already have those conversation topics.
Yeah.
And you can also, when you're chatting beforehand, if you're messaging, you can ask them about whatever is on their profile. It's already conversation topics.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Okay. That's good. We love that.
We try to help a lot of these different things, but yeah, I think it's, I mean, this is all the more reason why it's so important to upload photos that show all the colors of your life, because those are conversations.
Absolutely.
So the more things that someone can see the background, that you're on some hike that's known, maybe you guys talk about that or whatever it is. But if it's a picture of you like selfie style and in your car, like what can we really talk about here? Like, you want things that show the colors that people can ask about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So on my Hinge profile, I have a video clip from Love is Blind.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I would say two things. One, people are obviously, it's a known, like people see it and they're going to probably know the show, you know, so it might distract a little bit from you.
Yeah.
But also it's a big part of your life. So like, I think there's totally like, if you're noticing that ends up like really distracting someone from like getting to know your heart and you, I think that you could probably remove it and show other colors. And then that's another color they find out later on. Honestly, I probably would do that but also I kind of like it too at the same time, because you kind of you're like, this is my life. Like, this was a part of it. And this is like, if you go look me up, you're going to see stuff. So let me just own it. Yeah, this happened. Right. So I think it's totally like what your experience, like if you experience that dates get distracted by that, then I think remove it. And if not, then keep it.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, and to that, I haven't had many people like when they're, you know, liking me and, you know, sending their hearts and that kind of thing. Like, not many have commented on that. I think yeah, a lot of people haven't commented on that. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, like, yeah, I watched the show, I remember you, kind of thing. But it wasn't like, they're not harping on that. Like a lot of people.
Keep it up.
Yeah. Okay. I think I throw everyone else off I have a comment on there, like, you'll know I like you if I let you use my toothbrush. And like, that's the number one thing. Like, guys are like, oh my God, this is great. Or like, that's disgusting.
Is that like a big thing for you? Like, do you think is that actually like a big part of your?
Yeah, it kind of is. Like, honestly, there's literally been like 2 guys that I've dated that have ever used my toothbrush. And I'm like, but like normally like,
okay. So I have like a follow-up question. Why do they use your toothbrush?
Like if they like come to my house and they like don't have a toothbrush, like, right. Like they didn't know they were staying the night or something, like we just, you know. So I mean,
it's like a rite of passage for you. It's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Like, did you get to toothbrush level? It might be my boyfriend, but did he get to toothbrush level?
Like it's so great. Like even if like my family, if they were like, oh, let me use your toothbrush, I'm like, no.
But that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, listen, it's a little bit niche, and the right guy is going to be like, oh yeah, baby, I'm going to get that toothbrush. Like, but then other guys might be like, ew, that's gross. And that's probably not going to be a fit anyway. So like, whatever, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I can also, I mean, I have had like banter back and forth and you're like, do you really let that like guys use your toothbrush? And I'm like, dude, it's happened like once or twice. Like, no, like, and I'm also kind of being funny, but because it has happened, I've allowed it to happen. It's possible.
Okay.
Possible. So I don't know. You may never want to use my toothbrush, but in the event that you need one, there we go.
That is hilarious. All right. Okay. Interesting.
I probably have the weirdest Hinge account. It's so weird.
Okay. I mean, you can always try out other things, you know.
Yeah.
So try out some different ones. Experiment a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's step away from the app itself and center on you. How has your dating life been, and how is it as an entrepreneur that's launching a dating app?
Yeah, I mean, both very, yeah. Well, my dating life has been, I kind of just got out of a relationship. So a little sad about that, but it was with a really awesome guy, and I really learned so much of what works in a relationship. through him. For me specifically, because, being an entrepreneur, like, it's really hard, and it takes a special guy to deal with this kind of lifestyle. Like, I work a lot, and my brain is going 500 miles an hour. Like, there's always firing off. And sometimes, there's always, I have team members, and I'm always thinking about my company and our users, and this, my brain is always going crazy. And so that takes a very special person to be able to be like, I get you, and my last relationship was really beautiful because he also was an entrepreneur. And so he totally understood that. And he didn't like dim my light at all. Like, in fact, he like supported, he just understood it. And that was something that really worked well. And so that is definitely something that I think I'll probably end up with, is someone who's also kind of gets me in that way. I have also been in a relationship where like, they were like, I never want to date an entrepreneur again. And I was like, okay, they're like, you never stop working. I'm like, yeah, right now. Yeah, that's part of the part of life I'm in. And, I get so fulfilled. Like you said, it's like, it's a roller coaster being an entrepreneur, but it's also so rewarding. I mean, I get to help people find the love of their life. Like, there's not much better than that. And so, it's, it comes with its challenges in my own personal dating life, but it's worth it to me.
Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Oh my gosh. You'll have to keep me posted. Like, as you launch the app and into like, oh, what do you do? Or, and you tell a guy that you're on a date with, oh, I have a dating app. Like, I wonder what
I know.
Respond.
I will say, I actually dated from the previous version that I put out. I actually dated a guy for a while that I met from my own app, which was really unique. So yeah, he was great. Also an entrepreneur, and we were both like crazy, always moving around. We mapped out when we could see each other in the 30 days. We're like, we literally could only see each other one day. We're like, how is this going to work? So, so yeah, I mean, it's just like, if anyone is in the best position to be single and an entrepreneur, it's a dating app founder. Come on. But that's what everyone's always like, you'll be fine. I'm like, I know, I'm not worried about it. I'll be fine.
No, absolutely. Do you, speaking on, the fact you're an entrepreneur and you're attracting entrepreneurs, how do you feel about people who are in a relationship that are dating, one is an entrepreneur, one is not an entrepreneur? Like,
Done it.
how is that? Like, I mean, I think that anything can work. Anything is possible. Obviously, the effort is there, and you guys make your lifestyle work. But it's harder to do. I mean, just like I've tried to date a chef before, and like the chef is like nighttime on daytime, and I'm like, this isn't working. Yeah.
I think you just like learn what lifestyles work out with you and what don't. I think it also I'm not like, oh, I must date an entrepreneur. I've just found so far that happens to work best with my lifestyle. So I think like there is, of course, you can work if you're an entrepreneur or not. I don't think there's any like, it's just totally lifestyle dependent on like, do they fit in or do they not? And do you feel like you never, I see these people make this mistake a lot, is where let's say you're the entrepreneur and then they're not, like, and they dim your light, or they don't support you. So I think there's this, you always want to just be with someone, whatever they do, whatever lifestyle, that they don't dim your light. Your light is the most important thing to keep alive.
Absolutely.
So, and being your independent light, not, you don't want to be in a codependent type of situation.
Right. So. Yeah, no, absolutely. Have you, I mean, like I said, kind of going back to like the research and stuff, to help you create your app, just like have the knowledge for the dating and relationship world, have you yourself like talked with or worked with like relationship coaches or therapists, or like, how has that been for you?
I mean, I've gone to therapy. I think everyone should at some point experience that. I mean, I'm still fully human. And yes, I've done a lot of work in the dating space, and I know a lot. I've talked to a lot of people. I have a lot of data, but I'm still a person that is completely, I'm not like, I am better than this. I am perfect by no means. So I think that's kind of a misconception, is like, just because you're in the space that like you're perfect then, and like, no, not at all.
No.
Not at all. It's just, yeah, I just know a lot, and I'm at least, I think I can bring a lot of perspectives, but I still have my own experiences that happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's, yeah, like when, cause I mean, I have like a relationship course, so it's more of like it's a self-love. It's to help people like become who they want to attract, more or less. And, I've worked with a lot of relationship coaches, and, I've gone through therapy a good bit too. But it was funny because like, I used to like talk a good bit about like relationship advice. And I mean, I do talk about relationship advice, and I just, will have those messages every once in a while that are like, you're not in a relationship. Like, how can you give relationship advice and all this stuff? And I'm like, I've been around the block a time or two.
But here's what I would say, like a lot of football coaches aren't actually players themselves. Like sometimes you can have an eye to see different perspectives, and like sometimes you just need someone to weigh in from a bird's eye. And that's what, I feel like I'm very blessed to, I've lived the life of kind of being the weirdo in school, and no one like it. Then I've lived a lot of different perspectives. I have so many different people writing into me, and I've worked with so many different people. I've been in the space. So I'm able to sort of, sometimes people, when they're in the thick of it, they're like, there's nothing, and they freak out, and then I'm able to be like, hey, no, and actually bring light to it. So I think just like, but that doesn't mean that I don't have my own experiences, and I mean, I think I'm equipped with a lot of knowledge, but it doesn't mean there's things that I'm like, I don't really know what to do right now. It happens. Yeah, it's just the same analogy of like, okay, so with that mindset, then you would say like, oh, then football coaches, that they can't be good coaches then, because they're like, that's just not true.
So true. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm super excited for this app to come out. Like, yeah, it's like so cool.
I can't wait to see your fleet. You'll have to send me your guys.
I know.
Give me that link, girl.
So let's say I join and I create an account. Am I immediately like?
So you can create an account as either just a single woman, like, or you can create an account as you only want to be a ringleader and you don't want to use the dating at all, because that means you're in a relationship. So you're a single woman, and then you'll see a tab that on the bottom, and you can like say like, yeah, I want to be a ringleader, and then you can add in guys right there.
Gotcha. And can you be both? Can you do both?
Yeah, you can be both, of course. Yeah. So it's just like so you can be using it as single, and then you have your fleet of guys too at the same time.
Oh my God, that's so fun.
Yeah, it's so fun.
I can't wait.
I'm like, I can't wait to send you my fleet link, because I want to see if you like any of the guys that I have on my fleet, because I think I'm off with some of them.
Oh my God, I just have like this like chilly kind of chills.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did like a natal chart reading once, right?
A what?
A natal chart, like a birth chart reading.
Okay. Yeah.
Natal chart reading. But the guy that I did it with, he starts like reading me my like, my sun, moon, rising and everything. And it like threw me off, because he said that I was like a Cancer sun. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm a Leo. Like I'm a Leo through and through and everything.
Yeah.
And then a few seconds later, he was like, oh, sorry. I'm like basing this off the like Mayan, like the Indian calendar, not the Western traditional calendar. And I was like, oh, okay. Anyways, so he was sharing a lot of just very like, he could tell me things from like my past like 10 to 15 years, things that have happened, like, oh, around 2018, this happened to you in your life. And I was like, how did you know that? Like, it was so crazy, but it's based on the astrological signs and everything. And
okay,
whatever. Maybe he's kind of psychic too. I have no idea, but but then he could tell me like what was going on right now, and then things in my future. Anyways, why I just got so chilled, because you saying that, I'm like, he said that I would meet someone through technology.
I just got chills.
It has my husband in it.
We actually might.
Oh my
I
God.
I have a guy in mind, which is why I'm like,
Well, send him over now.
I'm gonna send you, because you can like then look at his profile a little bit. I just feel like there
Okay.
could be there.
Yeah.
But I'm also, remember, like I also, which we didn't talk about, I'm secretly also a matchmaker. Like I'm going to a wedding actually, people that I matchmake for in June. Like I've been doing this since I was young. I didn't know that I would ever start a dating app, but like I've always been like, you need to meet so-and-so. I'm just a natural like connector. I love to be like,
Love that. Okay, yeah. So that's an awesome, like, cool characteristic to have and be able to do.
Yeah. It's a fun fact.
Yeah, that is. That's very cool. I'm like, now that I just like put that out in the universe, I wonder if it'll come true. But
Let's see. I'm about to send you some really good guys, a whole chunk of them.
I'm so excited. I'm so pumped.
I know.
Okay. So this has been awesome. I know I could talk to you forever. Where can everybody find you though? And yeah, like spell the app out for us too.
Yes. Hulah. So don't forget the H at the end. And then my Instagram is it's Heather Hopkins. And then Hulah's is @join Hulah.
Amazing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So great. Yeah.
Trying to get fun up in here. All the ringleaders rally together, baby.
So exciting.
Help each other out.
Oh my God. Yeah. Single ladies, like download this app, join this app. This is gonna
like all the better guys.
I love it so much. I'm such a good person of safety. I think that's kind of like been my word so far this year is safety, like creating safety within my body too. And just like, that's amazing. So I
think like women, we want, because we want the space that feels not only safe, but also fulfilling. Like, I mean, a lot of the apps leave you kind of where you're like, oh, I feel like gross. And this is really the space where like, it's empowering and it's really special.
Absolutely. So I love it. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm so glad I could share you with my audience. And again, ladies, go and any guys listeling, download the app and
you gotta find a girl to get you the code.
Oh yeah, see that. Yeah, find a girl.
You gotta find a ringleader.
ask your besties to sign you up.
I know we have some guys having their mom endorse them. I'm like, go for it, dude. I'm sure my mom would love to do that. It's fun. They're like having a good old time seeing their nephews.
It's so funny. Oh my God. Well, yeah. Thanks again for being here. I'm so proud of you and I'm so excited for what's next for you.
Kelly.
If you loved this episode, please download, share, rate, and review. If you are ready to step into that next level version of you and grow your business and bank account, it's time to unleash your goddess magic and chase life with Kelly. You can start this epic expansion journey by diving into the Goddess Magic course bundle found at chaselifetogether.com. Please connect with me on Instagram at chaselifewithkelly. Join the Chase Life with Kelly Facebook community and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Till next time, create the life you crave, babe, and chase life with Kelly.